Alright, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about what is American unionism. And I got 4 points I'm going to use to just kind of give a brief summary of what it is. And then I got one last point where it's going to highlight the importance of it and kind of go over it, piggyback off the last episode where we're talking about why it's so important to go towards this. I mean, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen either way. You either gonna be first to the party or last to the party, type shit. Anyway, mixed economy focus. Point number 1. It combines the efficiency and innovation incentives of capitalism with social safety nets and community-focused programs using AI to maximize resource allocation and minimize corruption. What that means. I got a lot of notes here, so if it sounds like I'm reading, oh well. Basically, what that means is we're going to go ahead and take capitalism and use AI to enhance it by making it just more efficient. If you got some type of publicly accessible website where you could track taxpayer dollars and you can see what dollars go where, who got what exactly, then you might also be able to use AI to expose corruption in a way where you could just minimize it and effectively get rid of it altogether. You know, you see some dude, senator guy, whatever, stealing the money, spending too much money, spending it in a stupid way, just fire his ass, get him up out of there. And then you ain't gonna go like 10, 20 years getting fucking somebody bleeding you dry. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's point number 1. Point number 2. Universal basic needs. Ensures housing, food, healthcare, and education are guaranteed for all citizens, reducing economic desperation and inequality. Now that sounds like socialism, so let me go ahead and explain that, because that's not what I'm talking about at all. What it is this. It's like you got homeless people that just sit around, do nothing, do crimes and stuff like that. What you basically do, you gather all the homeless people together. Instead of like putting them on Skid Row and just leaving them there, you basically just put them in Skid Row, but they got some apartment or something like that, but they got to come to work, you know what I mean, and go build some more houses and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta do something productive. You know what I'm saying? My mom used to tell me about something in the Bible where it says a man who doesn't work doesn't deserve to eat. You know what I mean? The guy's sitting there on the side of the road and shit like that. Come on, man. Get your ass up. Get off your ass. Go to work. If you got disability or something like that, that's a different story, right? But the thing is a lot of people just fucking, life is hard. It's hard for everybody. It's hard for me. It's hard for mom. It's hard for my cat. It's hard for fucking my boss at work. It's hard for everybody. So, you just gotta figure out a way to get through it, you know what I mean? Can't drag everybody else down with you. So where does all the free shit come from, though? The free shit comes from people doing work, you know what I'm saying? The homeless people are gonna go work. That's the end of the story. If they're not gonna work, they're gonna go somewhere else. And I don't mean like under a different bridge, you know what I mean? I don't mean anything bad happened to them. You gotta do something, though. You know what I mean? You got to find some use for these people. I mean, come on, think about it. They don't want to be on the side of the road. You know what I'm saying? So let's put our heads together, figure out some type of halfway house type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you do when you're getting out of jail. Anyway, so yeah, basically you're just gonna take all the homeless people, put them to work. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what that's gonna. That's how you got the free homes for everybody. And also because you got so many more people in America, you're gonna, because of the later points, later episodes, you'll see why more and more people will come over here. Because you got so many more people, you could charge less taxes. So because now you got less taxes, now everybody got more money in their pocket, and now they can all spend more money, and then there's more money going around in the American economy, and that's just good for everybody. So win, win, win all the way around. You know what I mean? Point number 3, community-based contribution system. kind of goes into what I said about the homeless people working. Encourages civic participation, labor, and service through social credit rewards, aligning personal incentives with societal benefit. Basically, you could go ahead and get some like food stamps. You could get your rent paid, get a little studio apartment type shit, some nice little small apartment, you know what I mean? Nothing that, nowhere you'd want to be at forever, right? But at least somewhere where you can live and be safe. You know what I mean? I mean, once we get to the point where we can build a mansion for everybody and their dog, then you build a mansion for everybody and then another mansion for the dog. But right now, you got homeless people who ain't got nowhere to go. This is how you could fix that. You could also bring in a whole lot more immigrants that way. You know what I mean? We got all these trees, all the empty fucking fields and shit. We don't need none of that. We need more people here. You know what I mean? Especially people with high character. Being 26 years old, I've been working construction since I was 18 years old in Florida. I've been working with Mexicans, Colombians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, all types of shit, right? They're all good people. At least the people I've worked with, I can't say all people from there are good people, right? But for the most part, everybody I've met, good people, you know? And I don't know if they're still here or if they only had a visa and they had to leave because of that, whatever the case is, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's people like that who are, they follow the American way. They pursue the American dream for them and their family. And, you know, they're good people. I mean, they pay taxes at the end of the day. And they're not cheating the system. They're not doing nothing bad. So for me, you know, I look at them like my brother. All of them. I hope they're doing okay still. Point number 4. And we're about to wrap it up after that. Promotes regional unification to expand markets, strengthen domestic industries, and reduce reliance on foreign aid, while supporting reparations and targeted investment in historically disadvantaged communities. Instead of sending money over to Egypt or Ukraine or fucking anywhere the fuck else that ain't here, we're going to send it here, and we're going to put it here. I believe if you invest in the spots in America that are at its lowest economically, and by invest I mean like schools, more jobs, stuff like that. When I was 16 years old, I was getting in trouble and shit because I ain't had no fucking way that there wasn't no job I could go get at 16. There wasn't shit I could do. No football team. I'm on the football team already, right? But the season only goes like fucking half the year, right? So what you gonna do the other half of the year? You know, if you're just a 16-year-old kid, you ain't got nothing else to do but just get in trouble, basically, right? So you gotta have more shit to do for the kids. I can only imagine what it'd be like in, you know, other places. I mean, I don't think I had it the worst, right? I bet there's other people who got it worse than I do, that's for sure. So instead of sending the money to different countries so that Joe Biden can hire his son and funnel the money to him and then have it sent back to him and do hookers and cocaine, and look, I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, it's all on video. And I don't mean just like I got it from Google type of video. I mean like fucking Hunter Biden on the video himself before the fucking AI generated videos was even a thing. Fucking doing the blow with the hookers and shit. Where do you think he got the money? What a low down dog. Anyway. Instead of doing that type of dumbass shit, you could go ahead and just take the money and just give it to a bunch of impoverished regions in America. You know what I mean? Really, what you could do with it is go ahead and just extend a hand of friendship or whatever to all these different states in the Central Americas and the South Americas, and then you go ahead and say, look, you want to be the 51st state? You want to be the 52nd state? You want to be the 53rd state? You know what I'm saying? So on and so on and so on. Eventually, you probably have like 100 states, right? And then it'd all be America, North, South, Central, and then Greenland, of course, too. Canada, everything. All the Western Hemisphere. Be one singular state or one singular federal government that leans heavy on state rights. It's achievable. It's inevitable. And think about it. If we don't do it first, fucking eventually China and Russia are going to go ahead and beat us to it. You know what I mean? We think we safe because we got the ocean in between us, right? But how safe are we if China got South America and Asia? Now we under threat on our west or south. And then let's say Russia goes ahead and nukes all our allies in Europe, takes them out in like 3 days or some shit like that. I know it all sounds like a doomsday worst case scenario type shit, right? But I mean, what's the fucking point of taking that risk, for one? For two, all these people want to come to the United States anyway. For three, I asked these people, hey, would you be willing to join the United States military and go ahead and invade your home country to turn it into the 51st state? I asked this question to Mexicans. I asked this question to Cubans. I asked this question to Colombians even. They all say yes. They all say yes, they do it. That's got to say something, right? You know what I mean? If all these people want to come to the United States, why don't you just bring the United States to them? They're not really, I mean, the cartels aren't really maximizing what the land could be used for. They don't respect the land. They don't respect the ecosystem and shit like that. They just fucking chopping heads off, throwing it in the fucking lake, letting alligators eat it and shit, man. Go ahead, look at the videos on Reddit. I mean, maybe it's bullshit, you know what I mean? You never know what you're getting into on Reddit, but anyway, I gotta go ahead and wrap this up. I'm already a little bit past what I'm trying to do, the 10-minute goal. I'm never going to be able to get all my thoughts in on one single episode. I'm just going to have to get used to it. I'm used to doing episodes that last hours long, or like 1 hour at least, right? Some closer to 1 hour than 10 minutes, that's for sure. But trying something a little bit different. I think this will be better. But, we'll see. Who cares? All right, so the biggest, probably, I said a whole lot of shit there. It probably went over everybody's head. You might think that I'm just fucking crazy, right? But the thing is, you probably just clicked off already, right? But if you're still listening, then you would think this. Or you might think, this is the best point so far. Is why is this so important to do? Well, Charlie Kirk was killed because he was labeled as a fascist or a Nazi. And I believe it started with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, right? But doing a little bit of research, it seems like some guy who worked with Trump during his first administration is the first guy to go ahead and throw the word fascist out there when describing Trump or Charlie Kirk, which this was Trump back in, a few years back, right? But it's hard to say that what he said is equal to what Kamala and Joe Biden said, where they would just outright say, yeah, I believe he's a fascist, his fans are garbage, or his supporters are garbage or trash, whichever one Joe Biden said. I mean, these are actual quotes by these people, right? Or the guy who worked with Trump, he didn't really say nothing nowhere near that bad, right? But he said that the guy, he looks up to dictators and he admires things that Adolf Hitler did or something like that, right? He sounded like he's trying to make the guy sound bad, look bad or whatever, but it's really just like a matter of clickbaity stuff. I mean, people talk a lot about how fucking Hitler was a crazy nutcase and all that, and he was, right? But if you just took the fucking anti-Semitic shit out, and he's no longer like a homicidal, genociding maniac hating Jews. If you take that away, there's not really that much stuff that people would have to complain about the Hitler guy. You know what I mean? I mean, if you take the Holocaust out of it, and he's just some military leader that invaded some countries and, killed a bunch of people, I mean, it's not really that far from what other people were doing at the time, like Joseph Stalin or not Winston Churchill, right? But who was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom before? I guess it'd be that Neville Chamberlain guy, but I'm not sure exactly what he was doing. But I do know that the United Kingdom had the biggest empire in the world, the history of the world at that point, right? So, including India. And, they didn't do all that with, they were shooting people. You know what I'm saying? They were fucking taking shit over, so. My point is, if I don't even have to delete all that just to fucking fit this all together, is if you take all these different states, you put them together, you're going to be able to charge everybody less tax dollars because you got way more people contributing to the pool, so therefore everybody gets to contribute a little bit less. You use AI to make sure that every dollar gets stretched all the way as far as it can, instead of having a bunch of different men putting their hands on the money and then having a chance to be corrupt here, a chance to be corrupt here, a chance to mismanage funds here, a chance to be negligible here. And then what you get is you fucking $1 goes like 40 cents. You know what I'm saying? And then 30 cents of that gets stolen by somebody, so your dollar's really the dime. Fuck that shit. So because everybody will be able to pay less in taxes, everybody will have more money. Because we're investing in America instead of overseas and different wars and shit like that, we'll have more jobs, more shit to do. And, it's going to be a win-win-win for everybody, and the quality of life for all humans will rise as you raise the floor of America. And the main point being, if you raise the quality of life for the floor, if you raise the floor of America, the roof will follow. It'll follow the roof. Whatever the fuck you want to say. I mean, that's the best way to go about it. Not really the best at delivering the message, but I'll get better at it, man. Anyway, thank you, and I hope you guys have a great day. Catch you on the next episode.